The movie begins with a girl in a red suit sitting on her bed. Out of nowhere, some invisible force snatches away her jewelry and veil. That's when it's revealed that this girl, thanks to the help of an old woman, has married a demon. The scene cuts to three girls who all live in the same house. Together, they've opened a chicken shop. They head to the shop and start preparing the day's orders. Next, the camera shifts to Ranti and her husband Bowo's daughter at home. The little girl asks her dad if he can drop her off at school, since all the women of the house had already left early for the shop. Bowo agrees, but just then his brother Bayou shows up carrying a rooster in his hand. Bayou doesn't do anything all day. He just hangs around at home hosting cockfights. Basically, he's the kind of guy whose career plan is making chickens fight while the rest of the world earns real money. Bowo, frustrated, tells him, "Is this really a life? Look at your wife, she's pregnant and still going to work. Don't you feel any shame?" But Bayou shamelessly replies that what he's doing is a huge investment, and one day they'll get rich from it. Yeah, right. Because the road to Wall Street clearly starts with two roosters in your backyard. At breakfast, everyone gathers at the table. Bowo's mum, the old lady, is furious at Ranti because making breakfast was her duty. Ranti, however, had left for the shop without preparing it. Right in the middle of this argument, the three women return home. The old lady showers love on City, but scolds Ranti instead, even though Ranti had worked just as hard at the shop. For her, it didn't matter how much money Ranti earned outside. The household duties were still all hers. Strangely enough, City was treated completely differently. Even though she was just like Ranti, Ranti and City were both daughters-in-law. While the third girl was the old lady's biological daughter, Ranti felt bad, but she put her mood aside and went to make breakfast. She then asked Geeta to drop her daughter at school. The old lady snapped again. "What, you can't even take your own daughter to school?" Ranti calmly replied, "Actually, I also have to drop Bowo off at work and then deliver a chicken order. If I went to drop her off, everything else would be delayed." Just then, Bowo stepped outside. He handed some money to his mum and also gave part of his savings to Bayou so Bayou's pregnant wife wouldn't face any trouble. Honestly, giving Bayou money is like pouring water into a bottomless pit, except the pit also smells like chickens. Anyway, Ranti and Bowo left for work. On the way, Ranti confessed, "It really hurts when Mum talks so negatively about my business. I work extra hard, on top of all the housework." "Why?" "So that our family can run smoothly. Aside from you and me, nobody else does anything. And still, your mum never shows me even a little love or appreciation. Instead, she always makes it seem like I'm unfair to City." She was also angry that whenever his mum scolded her, Bowo stayed quiet. He didn't even defend her by saying, "My wife works hard." Bowo apologized and gently told her once again that she had no choice but to adjust with his family. Translation: "Sorry, babe. You gotta keep suffering while I sit here practicing the art of being spineless," Ranti said. "Fine, I'll do this too, but at least give me something in return. At the very least, you should stand up for me sometimes." While talking like this, the couple finally arrived at the port where Bowo worked. After dropping him off, Ranti headed to her own job. Once she finished preparing chicken orders and came back home, she saw her mother crying while City was trying to comfort her. She asked them, "What happened? Why are you both crying?" But the moment she asked, her mom exploded on her again, angrily scolding her. She called Ranti careless and who knows what else. Finally, she revealed the reason. Ranti's daughter had been in an accident. Hearing this, Ranti's heart nearly stopped. She rushed to the hospital as fast as she could. At the hospital, she met Geeta, who tearfully admitted, "It was all my fault. I forgot to pick up Nina from school. When she started walking home on her own, she got hit by a car." This broke Ranti even more. She ran to the doctor and begged for Nina's condition. The doctor told her that Nina was in extremely critical condition. Ranti broke down, pleading, "Please, save my daughter, do whatever surgery it takes, I'll pay, whatever it costs." The doctors tried to console her and told her to pray. Now, poor Ranti sat alone in the hospital waiting area. She was so devastated that an old woman named Otari came over to her. She handed Ranti some food, saying, "I know you're worried about your daughter, that's why you haven't eaten anything since morning." Renty was shocked. She hadn't even told this woman about her daughter, but she stayed quiet. Before leaving, Otari handed her a piece of paper and said, "If your daughter can't be treated here, you should consider other ways of healing." Then she walked away. Meanwhile, doctors told Renty that to save her daughter, Nina needed major brain surgery, which would cost a fortune. Renty's savings weren't enough. She decided to sell her car, but even then the money still fell short, so she went home and begged everyone to agree to sell the house. But her mum and Bayou flatly refused. In fact, her mum started yelling at her again, blaming her for her daughter's accident. She said Renty had been too busy with her business and neglected her daughter. Yeah, because clearly running a chicken shop automatically causes traffic accidents, right, Mum? No one in the family was willing to help save her child. Renty couldn't even reach her husband because he was out working on a ship in the middle of the ocean. To make matters worse, Bayou even refused to give her the savings that Bo'o had left with him, saying, "These are for my wife." Translation: Bayou is basically the kind of guy who would watch someone drown while holding a life jacket and say, "Sorry, bro, this is reserved for my pet rooster." With no other options, Renty suddenly remembered the woman from the hospital who had given her the paper. She rushed to her room, pulled out the paper, and contacted the old lady. But this woman wasn't offering financial help. She was actually a sorceress. She told Renty about a ritual called Gowrie. She explained, "In this ritual, you'll be married to a demon. Once that marriage happens, all your problems will be solved, your daughter will be healed, and anyone who troubles you, those problems will vanish too." Renty was terrified. She knew this was wrong, but since she had no other choice left, she agreed to the ritual. Because when life gives you lemons, apparently the only option left is to marry a demon. Before performing the ritual, the witch went through a ton of preparations. She personally bathed Renty and even muttered some chants over her. Then she shoved a raw chicken liver into Renty's mouth. Because apparently Renty's taste buds needed a wake-up call from the 19th century. After that, she prettied her up like she was getting ready for the cover of Demon Weekly. Once all that was done, she led Renty into a room lavishly decorated with jasmine flowers scattered across the floor. The witch told Renty, "Here you give your entire body to the demon, and all your problems vanish." At this point, Renty had officially become the demon's bride. Yes, folks, she was married to a demon now, because apparently love in this story comes with horns and fire. Then the scene flashed back to where the movie originally began. Some invisible force began removing Renty's clothes and jewelry and hovering over her. The witch, standing outside, watched all this with utter delight, practically doing a happy dance on the spot. Honestly, she looked like a cat watching someone else open a can of tuna. Once the ritual ended, the witch approached Renty, handing her some things and saying, "From now on, every week you'll have to give a chicken liver to that demon yourself." Today, the witch had done it all for Renty, but moving forward, Renty was on her own. The next day, the scene shifted to the house, where Bayou was in complete panic. One of his roosters had gone missing. Just then, his mum called out, insisting, "Take me to the hospital, I have to see Nina." But Bayou wasn't in the mood, and City was already annoyed, since with Renty gone, all housework had landed squarely on her shoulders. In the middle of all this chaos, a car screeched to a stop in front of their house. Out popped Nina, happily rushing to her grandmother. The grandma's joy was so immense that it seemed Nina had returned to perfect health instantly. City was dumbfounded. She probably thought medical science had been replaced by magic overnight. City wondered what Renty had done to make Nina perfectly healthy in just one day. She brought it up with Bayou, who simply said, "Don't overthink it. Be glad the house didn't sell and we didn't have to pay anyone." City suspected black magic. Bayou, of course, ignored her. Because men ignoring obvious magic, classic. But City wasn't about to stop keeping an eye on Renty. She noticed that ever since that day, Renty had been acting oddly. One day, City saw her sitting on the couch with all the windows and doors closed. "Why is it so dark in here?" she asked. Just then, the doorbell rang. When City went to open the door, guess who was there? None other than Renty and her daughter. because apparently they thought surprise visits were fun. Sidri got scared. When she looked back, the previous Denti gave her a weird, creepy smile and disappeared. City was shocked. She left the kids and went after the other Denti, but she was gone too. This whole ordeal freaked her out so much that she even discussed it with Gita, explaining that she had seen Ranti in the house at the same time. She also told her that ever since Nina returned from the hospital, Ranti had been behaving strangely. Gita didn't believe any of it. She probably thought City was just trying to audition for a ghost story podcast. Meanwhile, Ranti went off to take a bath. City turned to Gita and said, "Look, Ranti has never bathed at night before. Clearly, this is a new development." Gita told her, "Let it go, Ranti, forget about it and come to our room." About an hour later, Bayu returned home and immediately told City to make some noodles. City got up and went to the kitchen, only to be confronted by a frog. Yes, a frog. Because apparently this kitchen is now a 5-star amphibian hotel. The frog jumped right into her pan, annoyed. City stabbed it with fork because apparently violence against frogs is the culinary requirement of the day, and tossed it outside. Meanwhile, Ranti was still in the bathroom, and weird noises were coming from inside, as if she were playing some bizarre invisible game, peeking through the door hole. City saw Ranti acting in the most peculiar ways. Using the same hole, City recorded a video of Ranti and sent it to all her contacts. Because nothing says good morning like humiliating someone for private bathroom antics. The next morning, Ranti went to the market completely unaware, and everyone started laughing at her, making fun of her. Ranti got furious. She grabbed the very knife she used to cook chicken and marched towards City, intending to attack her. City, terrified, admitted, "Yes, you're the one behind the video." But instead of apologizing, City doubled down. "Your behavior has been terrible these past few days. I wanted to expose the truth. Everyone thinks you're innocent. But what are you really doing behind closed doors? Talk about turning the tables while walking straight into a horror movie trap." This made Ranti even angrier. Her eyes turned into those of a demon, and she was about to stomp City's throat when Gita intervened. Night fell, and everyone was at home. Bayu returned late again and told City to make noodles. When she went to the kitchen, the noodles were already cooking. City turned around and saw Ranti standing there with a creepy smile. Because obviously nothing is scarier than someone silently judging your cooking skills while looking like a possessed fashion model, Ranti pushed City aside, plunged her hand into the boiling water, and pulled out a frog, which she then chewed raw right in front of City's eyes. City was horrified and ran to wake Bayu. But when she checked the bed, it wasn't Bayu lying there. It was Ranti herself. Before City could react, Ranti pounced, knocked her down, and started choking her. Then she ripped open City's stomach, pulled out her liver, ate it, and left her dying on the floor. Yes, Ranti really takes cooking with love to a terrifying new level. The next morning, Bayu returned home. Gita told him to go to his room and wake City up because they needed to go to the market. But when he went to check, City was nowhere to be found. Panic set in as he searched the entire house. When he couldn't find her, their mum suggested maybe she went to her parents' house after the fight with Ranti, and with City still missing. The mum blamed Ranti again and started scolding her. Gita stepped in to support Ranti, explaining that she hadn't done anything wrong. In fact, City had created and circulated misleading videos herself. While searching outside for City, Bayu noticed that many of his roosters were also missing, adding to his stress, because of course, in this house, if you survive one horror, the farm animals get you next. The next night, Ranti went to bathe again. Her hair was messy, her eyes red, and she looked terrifying. She even asked her daughter, "Will you bathe with me?" Her daughter was horrified and turned to Gita asking, "Mum, can I sleep in your room tonight?" Gita naturally agreed, because honestly, who wouldn't want to escape a bath from a half-demon mum with a frog fetish? The next morning, for the first time since that day's horrific events, we saw Ranti acting normal. She went to her backyard and immediately froze. There lay City's lifeless body. Talk about starting your morning with a literal heart-stopper. Terrified, she realised that all the chaos was because of the witch. Trembling, she approached the witch and asked, "What the hell is going on?" The witch, lounging as if she were sipping tea at a spa, calmly explained, "The demon now lives inside your body because it married you. And since you're its bride, anyone who tries to harm you or speaks badly about you, the demon kills them." Ranti, heartbroken, walked away and told the witch, "I can't take this anymore. I don't want to see more problems in my family." She reluctantly accepted. "Do whatever you want, I'll always remain the demon's bride." With that, she returned home crying, because apparently signing up for a demon marriage contract comes with 0 opt-out options. Later that night, we see Bayou overseeing the rooster fights when he suddenly spots Bloodied City standing among the crowd. Shocked, he ran after her. But she vanished. Classic, you chase the ghost, lose the game, and your rooster, all in one night. When he returned, he realized he had also lost his game, and his roosters were gone. But he barely felt the loss. He was too disturbed by the weirdness surrounding him. The strange visions led him to a pit, where he found City's dead body. Seeing this, he broke down in a mix of rage and grief. He grabbed Ranti by the neck, sobbing, "Why? Why did you kill City? What did she ever do to you?" He was completely shattered. Ranti tried to defend herself, saying, "I didn't do any of this." But he pointed to her shirt and yelled, "I know it was you!" Because obviously guilt is always hiding in the laundry meanwhile. Mum, the ultimate house pride enthusiast, intervened. She lectured, "Listen, this must stay inside the house. If anyone finds out our ladies are killers, everyone will gossip. It's better if you quietly bury your wife." Obediently, Bayou buried City in secret. While doing this, he noticed Ranti approaching his roost. He hurried after her, but Ranti suddenly picked him up and hurled him far away. Bayou landed hard, and then Ranti, in full horror movie mode, gouged his eyes out without touching him first, and threw him somewhere the shutters and objects crashed onto him, killing him instantly. Honestly, Ranti is redefining household management, one horrifying move at a time. Inside the house, Geeta's scream woke Ranti, who was now fully conscious, standing over Bayou's corpse. Geeta, terrified, dragged Ranti back inside and locked her in a room, demanding, "How did you kill Bayou?" Ranti, unbothered, started talking back rudely because she wouldn't reveal anything. She told Geeta, "I love you the most in this house. If you want to live, don't make me angry." Translation: love me or die, choose wisely. By this point, Ranti's own condition was deteriorating. Geeta, unsure what to do, went against her mother's instructions and called their neighbour, Mr. Haj, for help, prioritizing the family's reputation over safety, because nothing says neighbourly sense like calling help without telling your mum during a literal murder night. Mr. Haj came in and looked at Ranti, instantly realising that this time some other entity, or demon, had taken over her. "Seriously, Ranti, can't you just stick to being spooky on Halloween?" Mr. Haj wanted to figure out who exactly was possessing Ranti's body. He began performing a ritual, but right in his hands, Ranti smashed the glass he was holding. At that moment, everyone realised, yep, there was definitely a demon inside Ranti. Classic Ranti, always breaking stuff. Some people break hearts, she breaks glasses. Terrified, Mr. Harsh started leaving, but before stepping out, he told Geeta that everything would be fine if she prayed. No sooner had he closed the door than Ranti appeared in her room and whispered into his ear, "Stay away from all of this if you want to live." Wow, threatening people already. She's ambitious. The next morning, Ranti's husband Bobo returned home. Geeta and her mom told him the whole story, but he flat out refused to believe any of it. They called him Vern, since he wouldn't open the door where Ranti was. "Vern, buddy, denial isn't just a river in Egypt." He didn't open the door, but he knocked, and a terrifying male voice answered, "You cannot come in here." Confused, he wanted to see who was inside. What he saw was Ranti in a horrifying state, and suddenly a demon's eye appeared right in front of his own. Startled, he fell to the floor. "Bobo, congrats, you just got ghosted." Literally. Now Bobo finally started believing Geeta's words. He decided to leave with Geeta to find a solution. While at home, Mom Nina prepared food for Ranti. When Nina went to give her the food, Ranti looked terrifying. Yellow teeth, completely white eyes. She spoke in a creepy tone. "Open me!" Seeing her mom like that, Nina started crying. "Nina, I know she's your mom, but that's a level of scary even Halloween wouldn't approve." Geeta had already told Bobo that earlier at the hospital, Brenty had encountered a strange woman. They tried finding her there, but the woman was nowhere in sight. At home, the demon inside Brenty threatened little Nina, saying, "Today, all of you will die." She told her grandmother, who called Bobo immediately and urged him to return quickly, unaware that Brenty was right behind her. Then all we hear is the old lady screaming. When Nina arrived, the old lady was dead, with Brenty standing behind her, proving the demon had killed her too. When Babu and Geeta arrived home, Nina rushed to them, terrified. Before she could say anything, Brenty appeared. Nina, scared out of her mind, ran and hid while Brenty attacked Bobo, repeatedly stabbing him in the stomach with a large scissor. She said, "You are no longer Brenty's husband." "Well, Bobo, maybe next time don't ignore the warnings. Just saying." After that, Brenty moved toward Geeta to attack her. Seeing this, Nina started crying because her dad wasn't there anymore. Her crying revealed her location, and Brenty suddenly appeared in front of her. Just as she was about to strike, Nina pleaded, "Please, Mum, be okay, please." The soul of the real Brenty, dormant inside the possessed body, woke up because of Nina's plea and regained consciousness. Brenty saw that the demon had already killed many and was about to kill Geeta too. She told them, "You need to run. I could become like that at any moment. Take Nina and go. I don't want to kill anyone." She apologized to both of them. Geeta didn't want to leave her, but Brenty made her promise to take Nina away safely. Then Brenty poured petrol over herself and set herself on fire. That was the end of Brenty and the demon's story. Brenty, always dramatic. Can someone just give this lady a spa day instead? In the post-credits scene, we see Geeta and Nina move to another village and settled in a new house, thinking they were finally safe. But when Geeta opened the wardrobe, she found the bridal dress that Brenty had worn at the start of the movie, showing that the nightmare wasn't over yet. And that's how the movie ends.